to the Must Love Yarncast.
Here we are.
Here we are, Sunday. We're a week later than I think we anticipated, but it happens. Life happens. So we are. This is a Yarncast about yarn and knitting and sometimes crocheting. I actually have some crocheting with me today, if you guys can believe that. Sometimes like felting or other sort of crafty projects. See, look, all the things that we bring to you from our yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont, where we sell a lot of the things we're going to show you today. Not all of them, because sometimes, we're pulling from deep stash or stash of other varieties.
Yeah.
And you can find the store out on all social media as Must Love Yarn. So
everywhere.
Instagram, Threads, Ravelry, World Wide Web, Facebook. Come, check out what we've got going on. See some pretty yarny and fiber-related things on those channels.
Yeah.
So, and I'm Angela.
I'm Jen.
And you can find me on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
You can find me on Ravelry as J Arbuckle and on Instagram and whatever as Jennifer _Arbuckle.
Threads.
Threads.
Are you on Threads? Did you make the Threads dive? I have not gone over there yet.
Well, we're there. Whenever we post for the store,
it goes both places.
It goes both, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I did add a little link for you for Threads and up on Must Love Yarn for Threads as well in the show notes.
If you tie your Instagram account.
Oh, it's fine. It just goes both places.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't decide whether we should go turn the slides back on. Abigail, jump up and down.
I think that we should turn them back on.
Yeah.
Here, let's see.
Over here somewhere.
There we go.
There we go.
Somebody got it. We don't know who. One of us got it. So we like to start our Yarncast with our Yarncast pick. And the way this works is that we're going to show you a yarn, and then we're going to give you a coupon code. And that coupon code will get you 10% off online or in-store. And if you come in-store, you do need to give the coupon code. So it's not an automatic discount.
It's not.
And
it's a top secret.
I
Members
know.
only discount.
And I think we probably will end up running this through December 6th because I'm really we probably are not going to be able to Yarncast that day. That's Thanksgiving weekend. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Run it through the 6th for now.
Yeah.
Okay. So beginning November 22nd, which is when this Yarncast will air, through December 6th, which is 2 weeks later, you can get 10% off this yarn, and we'll give you a code in a little bit. But what yarn have we picked for people today, Jen?
Barocco Dash. Yeah. It's a bulky yarn. It's an interesting yarn because it looks, it's a chain neck construction, and so. But it's, 92% wool and 8% nylon. So it's essentially, and it's extra fine merino, so it is super soft and really lovely. It's been around for a little while, but we have some new colors, and it's such a quick knit. So you can sort of see how the colors work. I can't read that tag in terms of what sweater.
Galette. So one of the things that's really nice about Barocco is that they have really great pattern support, which means whenever they release a new yarn, there's generally at least, a handful, if not more, of patterns that have been created specifically for that yarn.
I was thinking that, sorry, I got distracted for a moment because I was thinking we had one of those cowls that had the intentional pooling or the bobbles. I don't see it over there. Because you can do this with this yarn as well. The patterns where when you get to the color, you make a bobble or you do something special. So this will work because it's got these little blips of color.
Right, like little stripes of color that are roughly the same length.
Yeah, and you can see, like this is a hat designed by Ariana, our former store manager. This is called Singularity hat. But you can see that even on the hat, it's interesting to me that it has the same, because it's not the same circumference as the sweater, but it has the same bliss. But you can see the color, how long they are.
Right.
So we have
a bunch of colors.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors. There's just a wide variety. There's a couple that have a similar base color, but they have different blips of color. So, for example,
like these two are brown.
Yeah.
And this is like a maroon and orange, and this is like a teal, like shades of teal.
Yeah.
Which
and
actually
like these
really
two
pretty.
grays are the same, but they have different blips of color in them. So
we also have this one, which is that same sort of
Yeah.
brown base with like dark blue, light blue, and there's actually a purple, like more of a purple in there, violet almost.
Yeah, and then some white background. I told Ange that, so there's lots of great color choices, and it's, obviously because it's a bulky weight, it's a super quick knit on like size 13 to 15 needles, so you can imagine how fast it will go.
And these skeins, because of the way this yarn is made, has very good put up. So they're 100-gram skeins, but they're 230 yards per 100-gram skein. So that is a huge amount of yardage.
Yeah, less ends to weave in for sure.
Less ends to weave in. It is somewhat reflected in the price point. So the skein, each skein is $29.99, but that's I think because you're almost getting the equivalent of 2 bulky skeins for every 100 grams. So with that math, that's actually a pretty good price point on these.
Because you don't need quite as much to make a garment.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Fun colors.
Very fun colors.
I did tell Ange that I've been lobbying them for like a navy blue with white stripes. That's what I would like.
That would be gorgeous.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would be amazing.
Yes. So maybe I'll just keep lobbying them for those of you that have the same palette that I do. But in the meantime, I'm picking up my palette, not the orange, but still. That would be pretty with the orange and
It's a nice one too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the tan, brown undertones and the teal. It's also really nice.
Yeah.
So
super fun, super quick.
So let's do the code YP dash for 10% off the next 2 weeks through December 6th.
Gosh.
I know, right? Already into December. And again, this could be a potential really quick knit for somebody.
Yeah.
I will provide a link in show notes to the Barocco page that has the patterns that go with this yarn to just give you some ideas and inspiration. All of the Barocco patterns you can get on Ravelry as well, but Barocco does a nice job. They put them together as collections based on the specific yarn, so that you can see them all in one place without having to hunt them down on Ravelry.
Yeah. And, you could make anything you want with it, obviously, but a really simple sweater construction.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a great first sweater as well if you're, pick a simple pattern and just let the yarn do the work for you and, add some pizzazz or whatever.
Right, and it would be quick. Like something like this, is knit on 11, 10s and 11s.
Yeah, and the yarn says 13 to 15, so even so. So if you were one of our new employees, you'd knit a sweater in like less than a week.
Right.
But for normal people who take a little bit longer, don't, but even so,
Still
a couple
be quick.
weeks, if even, a few nights a few hours every evening, be quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, this would be fun in like a vest too.
Yeah.
Like just, I think Jen and I have been talking about vests a lot.
Yes, I have a sort of plan for after the holidays for a vest, yes. Because no sleeves.
Right?
I don't mind making sleeves, honestly, but just faster to the end line.
And also,
I wear vests.
If you're having temperature challenges where you're like a whole sweater feels really warm, but you want to wear hand knits, like a vest is a great compromise for that. Yeah. So you can still show off fun things, but not be too hot.
Yes. I have an Argyle vest in my brain. So
that would be fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
A big Argyle, not like all over. Yeah. But we'll see. Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyway, so great. There's some nice muted colors and there's some brighter colors, so it's a great yarn. Yeah. Very popular yarn. People really like it.
Yeah. Yep. And Barocco, that's just, they always bring it.
Job. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
They released I'm on their newsletter list. So if you're not on the Barocco newsletter list, I would recommend that. I will also provide a link for that. Because they put out at least weekly like sort of a spotlight on like yarns and like patterns that go with those yarns. And this last week they had one that I almost put in order for like drop ship for because it was a yarn that we don't actually carry in the store. It's a bulky yarn, but it looks like it's the Barocco response to that Katia concept that I used to make the 3 Seasons cardigan. So it's that nice same yarn. Look. It's like a cotton where it's really just, it's beautiful and lovely. And they had this great shawl collar cardigan. And I was like, oh my God.
I was thinking we need to get that in here.
You saw that same yarn, right? It was like, I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I can't either. But
it's probably still saved on my phone because that's what I do.
Yeah.
700 tabs open.
While you're looking for that, so the other good thing is Anne's mentioned that dropship program.
Yes.
And so the nice thing about that for us is that we get the sale. You can order the yarn to either be shipped directly to you or to the store if you wanted to pick it up here instead. But you're sort of buying it through us, even though it's direct to Barocco.
Yeah.
Especially if you're looking for larger quantities for something.
Yes,
it's a great
sweaters
program.
quantity or something.
Yeah, not everything they sell is eligible for that, but quite a few things are. So
I must have pushed it off of my, I wonder if it's still in my email, because that would have been something I would have kept in there. Just mostly so I could tell you guys what the gimlet is the name of the yarn. So it's a 42% cotton, 38 alpaca, 10% wool, 5% polyester, 5% polyamide. So it's that really light, and it's got this nice like sort of sheen to it. And the sweater is actually called Jasper, which was just, and part of it was the color too. So I just put that up there so you guys can see. Like, it's just that really beautiful. It's the Katia concept.
There's some sort of a color theme going on between your sweater, my sweater, and that sweater.
I know. So I'm still, I may ask for this as a special order at the store, because we can also do that. So
yeah, well, and I think it's a beautiful yarn, so we should
maybe think about getting it in,
bringing it in.
I'll link to that as well in this section, just because we've been spending some time talking about it. But yeah, that's great that you reminded folks about that drop ship, because that's a great way to get
we don't
yarns
talk
from
about
Barocco
it very much, but it's
that we don't carry in the store. They have so many beautiful yarns, we can't carry them all.
Right, exactly.
But that is a way that you can support us and still get those particular yarns, and they'll ship directly to you, or they'll ship them here to the store for you to pick up. So don't forget about that.
Yes, right. It's a good program.
It's a great program. So, all right. So what are you wearing today?
I'm wearing Magnolia. It's probably hard to see, but
that's such a gorgeous.
And the sleeves.
Turned out so well.
Yes, it does. I will say, I held it 2 yarns together. So
of course you did.
Right. So
because you started that sweater, and then she came out with a bulky version.
Yes.
Yeah.
I of course wanted to knit a bulky version, but I had always started. But so I knit down a size, well, several sizes really. So the yarn is Ritual Dyes Priestess, which is the blue yarn, and then Ballet Yarn Southampton, which is the mohair that I held with it. So the one thing I would say is that the mohair is pilling a little bit, which is, pretty much sometimes the way it goes. So I just keep pulling them off before I put it on, but every now and then. But it's a great sweater. It's really warm without being super hot, and I like it a lot. And it took me a while to get the color combo right. In fact, I actually had another mohair. This was the mohair that I brought it for something else, but we'll talk about it in a minute. This is the mohair I had originally picked, but with the blue, it just didn't work exactly. So I needed.
Didn't we spend like a whole Indian Tangled and Rhinebeck weekend looking for the right shade of mohair?
Yes, we did. And then I ended up
getting something here.
Yeah. exactly.
So we did not plan this.
No, but it is funny.
It's
It
the
made me
sort
chuckle.
of the purple day today.
It's that time of year.
It is.
The
So
sweater got dragged out last week to
Yeah.
wear because it got cold again. So
this is Field Sweater by Camilla Vlad.
so right, actually, we're wearing. They're both by the same.
Yeah, and also by the
forgot
same
that.
designer.
Right.
So we're twinsies. Maybe that should be the name of the
Right.
twinsies.
Unintentional, right?
Yeah. Then people can figure out why that is the name of the yarn cast this week. So this was a project that I think last year at Rhinebeck I was on the hunt for yarn. So the base yarn is Bare Naked Wool's DK weight yarn. It's one of their natural. They do all like natural style yarns. So this is a really lovely merino alpaca blend. And it's so soft and it's just so squishy.
Yeah.
I had in my head that I wanted to do some sort of counter color wheatgrass. I'd seen a few of them done and they were just gorgeous. So I didn't find anything that sort of caught my eye at Rhinebeck last year, and we have so much different mohair and things in the store.
53 different colors.
Right. That again, I came in. This was Trendsetter Yarns Poet Mohair in colorway 27. But one of the things that this yarn does, and you can kind of see it, is that it's an
ombre.
It's an ombre. So it is definitely, it's darker up here, and then it gets lighter as you go. And I didn't use
You didn't get to the orange. It
No,
goes from like purple to orange-ish. Like
no, there wasn't. This one was just purple all the way through, so it just got lighter and lighter and lighter.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still see the ombre effect through just the little section that I did.
Yeah.
And I love the way it turned out. I love the contrast. I love the purple. I love the ombre. Like it was just like perfect storm.
Yeah. Despite the annoying stitch. But
once you kind of figured it out, you were like, all right, this is. I would have probably thrown it across the room if I had tried it on like mittens, which is what I think you tried it on.
Because I thought, aren't they going to be beautiful?
Yeah,
but it was just too fiddly. I was not in the right headspace.
This, you almost need to do it on the sweater first, so you can see like how that goes before you move to something like small circumference. Because it would have been, because you don't have as much maneuvering room on
and
small
also you're trying
circumference.
to like turn the corner of the on the if you're doing anyway.
So anyway, I for the yoke it was fine. It was definitely, you had to pay attention through this section here, and but after that it was just straight. I did not add the detail to the cuffs. Some people did the cuffs as well. I passed on that. But it's super warm. The alpaca merino, it's a DK weight, but just with everything together, it's very toasty.
Pretty sweater.
Thank you. I like it.
Yeah.
And that's weather, sweater weather. Time to pull out some. It's for a little bit. It's going to warm up this week again, though, I think. So, I don't know.
Let's look at the temperature blanket.
Right? The temperature blanket is probably a crazy mess, right?
It's an interesting thing, yeah.
So do you have finished objects?
Well, I guess technically I do have two things.
Okay, cool.
We could talk about the temperature blanket because there is a square here somewhere. So I finished October square, which you can see. So as people may remember, I'm doing highs and lows, and as I randomly feel like doing them, whatever gives the most contrast typically. So you can see basically like chilly mornings and warm afternoons. So I just alternate. And then we had a patch of very warm weather, which I believe was Rhinebeck, right around there, that orange band in there. And then, so the orange is the warmest temperatures. So we definitely had a little chilly spell in the middle, and then it got warm again, and then another chilly spell. And now we're in, so this is sort of finished object and whip, but while we're here. So now this is pretty accurate for what November has been. Because I'm doing 15-degree temperature swings, there's not as much, if it's 40 or 50 something, it's still the same green.
Yeah.
But you can see we've had some very chilly mornings this week. I'm down into the deep blue, which is colder than the medium blue. So it's happening.
Fun.
Yes, indeed.
Fun.
Do you have any? I have one more.
I have a couple. I have one. Well, three. One's not here because it's those pink marled mitts that I was almost done with.
Oh, right. Yep.
My little person over there, and I forgot to scoop them up this morning. I'll put a picture in so you guys can see them. Super cute.
Yeah.
Finish them pretty quick, but I did.
It occurs to me that I maybe was working on my pink mitts that I did finish. Anyway, who knows?
So number 2's done.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, I need to weave in a couple more ends. So for those of you that are playing along, this one has like way more ends to weave in.
2 different sizes. Yes.
They're done.
Yeah.
They're actually both. I made them both the same size.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, okay. I guess just because it was draped.
They haven't been blocked, so they're kind of
okay.
like all over the place. But I mean, I think it did pretty good matching these guys for the yarn I was using. Bless you.
Sorry.
I mean, that's about as close as
I know.
one can get
amazing.
for matching.
Yeah.
So these are vests for my older child's
very lucky people.
Basketball coaches who wear matching outfits for games. And so I had this harebrained idea that I could make them matching tessellated vests because it's a fun pattern. It's definitely more of a younger style pattern, which
unless
these
you
two
make
coaches,
it longer.
These two coaches are. I got input from my child on colors, and he picked school colors. Those are school colors for them. So they're done. I need to block them, weave in some ends, and I'll probably gift them with some small little containers of like soak or wool wash because they do have to be hand washed. Yeah. So I like to include those for people who aren't into fiber arts. Most of us that do fiber arts have that stuff with us. But, no sense in gifting something that then people can't wash or take care of.
I don't understand how.
There we go. I don't know who that
Bizarre.
was. Probably me. So those are...
Because you're an inch over to the
I know, right? So those 2 are done.
You must be excited to have those done.
I'm so excited because it means I can work on something else.
I was just
but
going to
now
say,
I'm like, what am I going to do
frees
next?
up your options.
Yeah, I have some mittens I think I'm going to make for Abigail's teacher.
Plus, well, that's right, because you're into that teacher knitting thing right now, phase. I was just thinking, too, it's fun to knit them once, but then to knit 2 at the same time, and just, so it's good to be done. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really pleased with how they turned out.
Yeah, they look great.
They're cute.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Yeah.
So.
Lucky teachers.
Right. Right.
Your kids must be everyone's favorite.
Sometimes.
No, I want that kid in my class. I
get the fun things.
Right.
The hand knits.
Exactly right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you got? What do you got there? We have a class coming up.
We do a felted landscapes class, which also could be felted dryer balls. And so I took a class with these folks in, you may remember, in the summer, outdoors. It was like an outdoor class. And so as we were advertising it, we needed some pictures of felted things, which she has now sent me 100 of them, which is great. But anyway, so one evening I just sat down in like 2 hours and took an actual dryer ball that I had that had been in my dryer for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, removed a few of the little pills that have accumulated over time. And then I just felted this, and it took like 2 hours. I did the whole thing.
It's amazing.
And I didn't really have much of an idea ahead of time. I just sort of went with it. But it's like Starry Night.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Van Gogh's. So it was fun to do. And not for nothing. It's nothing like stabbing something to make you get a little tension out of one's life.
Right.
So anyway, when this airs next Friday, it'll be 1 week before the class. And so if you're interested and you need something
please
fun,
register.
Yeah, please register. Fun to do. You got friends in town or family in town, and you need a little 2-hour period of time to either learn something new or keep people entertained or, anything. Fill in the blanks there.
Yep.
Family can be awesome and they can be
Might need a
extra. So come on over. And so we'll be there'll be an option to do like a landscape that you can then frame, or you could do dryer balls, which could be ornaments depending on their size. I didn't put a string on this, but you could. So all the materials
provided
to do the class things, but then you'll have materials to do this forever, really, because we'll have the mats and the needles and little bags of roving and stuff for people. So
I think I'm gonna register for the class. I was waiting to make sure there was spots for everybody else, but
it was so much fun, and to just be able to do some. Honestly, it's so fast. Like it doesn't.
Right.
You wouldn't think so, but literally. Maybe not even 2 hours.
Yeah.
So there's no question that you can do all of this in one class.
Oh, totally.
She'll have some prefab landscape diagrams as well. So,
fun.
It'll be super fun.
Super fun.
Yeah.
So check that out. I'll link that in. To show
I'll be
notes as
posting a
well.
bunch more this week to sort of highlight it and get it in people's brains. It's hard to plan ahead sometimes, but.
So I wanted to provide a little update on some other finished objects. When I went away for vacation, I had been crocheting the little balls that hadn't gotten filled yet, little hacky sacks for my kids' holiday bazaar. So I'm up to 13 totally complete ones.
It's amazing to me that that's still a thing. I guess hacky sack never goes out.
Well, I mean,
or maybe it's just on a cycle.
They're almost like fidget balls too.
Yes.
Like they're fun to just squeeze. I have 10 that are crocheting's done, but they have not been filled yet. So I'm using pony beads to fill these. Because what better use of the 11 million pounds of pony beads that are already in my house? My goal is to do 26, so I have 3 more to crochet, and then I have to fill the 13. I have 13 that are filled already. So just fun little.
So do you fill them like when there's just a little hole at the top of the funnel or something?
Yeah.
So then it's just weaving in that last end or something.
Yeah. So it's doing one more close the top row, decrease row. Sometimes I have to monkey with it a little bit, and then weaving in both ends. I do both ends at the same time. It's just easier. And with this type of thing, I'll do a couple little ins and outs, but then it literally you're just sticking the tapestry needle through and clipping it. There's a huge end that's through the center.
Yeah.
That's never gonna really come loose no matter what. So
that's how I do stuffies also.
And these, this cotton will really loosen up. They look kind of small and tight right now, but I have my prototype at home, which is at this point enormous because the cotton relaxes the more you play with it. So, but yeah, little bag of hacky sacks or, juggling balls. Like you could use them for all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Super fun. Good, crochet practice. Just around and around and around and around. And that sort of muscle memory kind of thing.
But you have to increase and decrease, don't you?
You also have to increase and decrease. So lots of practice.
It's already beyond my crochet skills. I can go around and around, increasing and decreasing, maybe not so much.
Yeah. It's good. It's good practice. That's the project that I broke the crochet hook with. I had to go make an emergency stop at Joann's to buy a metal crochet hook. So, because it's knit on a pretty tight gauge.
Yeah.
Or crocheted on a pretty tight gauge. So,
yeah.
Is anybody surprised I snapped the tip off of the plastic? Nice, ergonomic, prim crochet hooks, which are lovely. And felt really good in my hand, and I can't use it for this project
because your strength is
I broke it because I Hulk handed it. Snapped the head off of that crochet hook.
Yeah.
Did that.
I was trying to think. I think the only needles I've broken have really just come apart of the join.
Yeah.
because the glue gave out. But,
Yeah. That would be nice. That's not
I
my
guess I'm a
experience.
twister. That's probably why, too.
Snap those babies right now.
That's it for finished objects for me.
That's all I got for
I feel
finished
like
objects,
there's,
too.
I don't know. When I was running through the house this morning to leave, I was like, what am I bringing to this podcast?
Yeah.
So I do feel like I did finish those. I can't remember if I had finished those pink fingering weight mitts or not last
Hello,
time.
stink bug.
Oh, I don't like those. So.
Just right on the thing.
I like spiders less, but those, they're just very prehistoric looking.
Oh, your
that'll be
woolen affair mittens?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had finished those.
Oh, I had. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember because the one came out so big. Anyway. And by the way, when I did finish them, they still were. Anyway, we talked about that last time.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the second one is never going to be the same size as the first one, is how that
Right?
works. Yes.
So what do
right.
you have on the needles?
I have a new project.
Did you see all
I
of the
did.
sweater suggestions that people gave you?
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, that was awesome.
was awesome. I was forwarding messages to Jen like almost every day with
Yes.
sweater suggestions. There was some
Yes.
great ones on there
There were.
that
There
I've
were.
added to my
Yeah.
saved in my
Yeah.
favorites as well.
Yeah. I did look at them all and I was sort of torn, but I also needed like the world's simplest sweater to knit because that's where my brain is these days. And so I cast this on Wednesday, November 6th. For many other reasons, needed a simple thing to not distract me. So I am making The Weekender by Andrea Mowry. I had sort of been eyeballing it anyway, and the sweater suggestions were awesome, and I was sort of torn, but this one is bottom up, which I was sort of interested in because I thought it'll just be around and around for a long time, and then the harder part will be at the top, which is hopefully by then my brain will be in a different space.
Mm-hmm.
So I am using the wool from...
Is that American You?
It is from CC's Wool. It's the worsted tweed. The worsted tweed, which is 3-ply merino rambouillet chinico wool with a little bit of acrylic and rayon for the flex. So this is in her Rhinebeck 23 colorway, so it's from last year. So that is the inside.
I have no idea why Jen bought this yarn because those are not her colors at all.
Well, you know what's really funny is that, so when you look at it this is an 8-ounce ball, so I'm probably halfway through maybe. And when you look at it from the outside, the greens, the purples, the blues predominate. And then when you're knitting it, it's also the same, but there's a fair amount of that brown in there.
Rust color kind of.
Yeah, like a chestnutty brown, which I don't mind. It's fine. It's not my favorite color, but it's fine because the other colors sort of play.
I think it looks good with those colors, though.
Yeah, no, I do too. So this is the inside because you knit it inside out because it is
really a pearl.
It's a reverse stockinette sweater.
Yeah.
So with that little
detail
line up the front.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I'm going to make it reversible, I think, probably, when I get to the part where you have to join some stuff together.
I feel like that chestnut color is less pronounced on this side.
Yeah, when you look at it up close, the colors are different because it's reverse stockinette. But I also really like the inside as well when it's knit. So, as I said... So I haven't really tried it on. It's one of these things that has 10 inches of ease, which is too much for me, really, generally speaking.
Yeah.
I don't need a big shapeless thing draped around my body, generally speaking. I don't mind having like a straight sort of shapeless thing, but not one that's gargantuan. So, so I picked the size and I'm just knitting it. That's the way it's working, but it has a split hem. The one at the front is a little bit lower than the other one, but yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And it's one of those things where I think I looked to make sure I had enough yarn, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll just see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
it might be a weekender vest.
Yeah, right. Well, I have or depending on how oversized it feels when I get up into the chest area. It might be something where I just do like wide sleeves or elbow length or something like that, so I can wear it over other things, but it's not full length sleeves. So there's some choices still to come. I have the equivalent of 6 skeins, which is really should be plenty. So
should be.
And particularly since I'm already 8 inches plus in, and I still have half of this left.
Yeah, I think you should be fine.
Yeah, because I have 4 other skeins at home.
I have
the smaller skeins.
I have some loop yarn that I bought to knit a weekender. Maybe I should bust that out of.
Yeah, so far it is truly a lovely mindless knit. It's been easy for me to just, there's 2 rows that kind of alternate. So this slip stitch design up the middle. So I just did that with 2 different stitch markers, so I know which row I'm on at all times, and no matter where I am, I can just pick it up and knit on it, and it's been very therapeutic as a result.
Nice.
So perfect choice for this time. And in fairness, I had this sort of in mind when I bought the yarn, but I was really torn because there were a lot of great sweaters. It was interesting to me to see a couple people suggested the same sweater. That Autumn League sweater got a lot of votes. So
nice.
That's that.
Nice.
And it's just it's kind of cruising along. I mean, it's been a week and a half, maybe not even. So this is fast for me to be this far along.
Well, there's something to be said for those like kind of mindless, don't have to put a lot of thought.
And it's in my bag, my lovely bag
so
that my
cute.
friend Angela made for me. Yes, with the lovely little koala bears on it.
So fun.
Because look, it kind of matches.
With my whole idea that I was going to make all of those bags and, get rid of a whole bunch of fabric, and it didn't actually
Could probably make
use
as many more and still have fabric left.
Oh,
is that what you're saying?
And then some. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There should be no purchasing of fabric at all by me for like the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Anything that I need to make, I should be able to pull out of fabric stash to make.
Sometimes it's like yarn, right?
Oh,
it's not
know.
ever exactly.
I
And even though
know.
you have it in stash, you need something else
I
to
know.
complement
I
it.
know.
Or to,
it's on the, Joann's like remnants
yeah.
container, and it's like $2. So you're like, I need that for $2.
Yeah.
That's what happens to me a lot these days, I feel like.
Yeah. I just don't go in there. That makes life simpler.
So I put a little bit more on my Musselburgh.
Must be getting pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close.
Are you decreasing yet or no?
No,
Not quite
not yet.
Oh, I guess, maybe not.
I got that much. I think my plan was to run this out and then grab a counter color to do the decreases.
Is it is that a full skein of the yarn, or had you knit something with it?
No, it's a full skein.
Yeah.
It's 308 yards, so it's sport weight. So it's a little shorter out of skein.
But you have you started these because this was deeper stripes. I just thought, but it's because it's smaller.
Because it's smaller. I will check it. I know at least at one point I knew how many stripes it took to do the first part. Increase section. So I can knit to that point in the skein here, and then just see where I am, and I can make a call about whether I want the last couple 2 or 3 little bits to be a different color. I've done that
or if
before.
you need to do a band of solid color in the middle before you do, you can save the last bit to do the top in the little circles.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then the 2 sides would be different.
Right. So, this again, mindless project, and I still have my stitch markers, and you can see those flopping around. So I'm just saving those for when I get to do the decreases. So I don't have to hunt them up. They're already attached to the project, which means that I could start those decreases wherever I was. So, yeah. Low planning ahead there a little bit. So I have that's in progress, and then about Wednesday of this week I realized I was teaching a class yesterday, for socks.
Mm-hmm.
And although we had samples of those socks, it was a worsted weight sock class, I thought it might be nice to have my own project on the needles, because occasionally it's nice to just be able to show for certain points. So I had knit, it was about here before the class started, maybe in the green, and did most of this foot yesterday, just sitting at kids gymnastics and other things.
Fast when it's worsted weight,
so
isn't it?
So fast when it's worsted weight. So these will probably end up being a gift for somebody.
To feel how thick.
Yeah, it's not overly thick.
No,
this is the Lang Yarns 8-ply sock. So it's meant for socks for worsted weight.
That's the one we have here.
The one we have here. It's 150 gram skeins, so I can easily get a pair of socks out of it.
Especially short ones, right?
Yeah, I made the cuff a little longer than what our pattern called for, just because I like a little bit more of a cuff on something like this.
You don't want it falling down inside your shoe.
Exactly.
It's my least favorite thing in the world.
So these are fun. A little bit thicker. You could use it for like boot socks.
You could probably make 4 pairs of socks with this.
Look
how much is left.
I know. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see. Because you could make a taller sized with 150 gram skein. Yeah. So super fun.
Yeah.
And also very fast. Mm-hmm. So just,
You're getting it to the toe, and then that's the second class, right?
Yeah. Well, so the next class isn't for 3 weeks, so it's totally possible I could knit the second one and have the second one at the toe,
right?
Or have both of them at toes.
Yeah.
Which is what it might actually do. I may not close the toe up on this one. Just put it on some double points or something.
Yeah.
So
fun.
But yeah, we're doing Kitchener, troubleshooting in Kitchener at the second part of the class.
Yeah.
In about 3 weeks.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm sure your class people were excited.
They were doing a great job. So it was fun. It's fun to watch somebody do a sock for the first time. The magic of turning a heel, picking up the gussets, and then you can see it click in their head that they're like, oh my gosh, like this is how
I just made 3-dimensional art.
What? That's super cool.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit of like magic and sorcery, I feel like.
Yeah.
As you're looking at a sock, being like, how do we even do this? And then it all comes together. And you're like, wow.
Right, because you're knitting along and oh my goodness, today is a bad day for
what
this
is
thing.
going
What is
on?
going on?
I'm just gonna leave them off.
Yeah.
No.
You're knitting along, just following the instructions and not quite sure what you're doing.
I know, right?
So for them to...
There we go. Sorry, it's making me crazy. Too many shadows for it to stay off.
Also, where's the bug gone?
Elbowed my person there. The lady there. I don't know where the bug went.
I'm not a huge sock knitter, as everyone knows, but every now and then it is a little magical.
Yeah, I love them. I can't believe I don't have another pair. This is my sock on the needles right now. I was looking around, thinking like, oh, I need to put another just regular fingering weight sock on the needles. I have a couple fingerless mitts to finish first, and then once I do that, I will put some socks back on the needle, because they're just perfect like toting around projects for me.
Although in fairness,
so
this fits very nicely in my bag, and I can just carry it around with me.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I don't normally bring my knitting with me everywhere.
Oops, oh my god. Sorry. That was me. I kicked the tripod.
No, I was like, I lean on the table all the time and it doesn't wiggle.
Stretched my legs out and kicked the tripod.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
It's all right.
That's what I get for stretching.
I know.
I'm trying to decide what I want to cast on next.
Oh my god, I have so many things.
I have a bunch of like little projects that I want to do, but I'm really itchy to put a sweater on the needles. So I'm trying to figure out which sweater it is that I want to do. Next, maybe Weekender. I have that yarn I bought for pressed flowers. Do I want to do that one? I have to pick up a base color for that, so I might save that for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Do I
it's
want to
funny.
just do a vest? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I have several sweaters at home that I should finish, although I'm pretty dedicated to that simple one. But I also was thinking about a Christmas sweater or a holiday season sweater.
Yeah.
And so this is a yarn that Fiber Stash dyed up for Seasons of Vermont like 2 or 3 summers ago from a photograph of my natural backyard that was just sunset. And it just had all the beautiful Vermont-y blues and greens and a little hint of sunset in there. And so I've had several skeins of this just sitting in my bin for a long time. And I have been trying to think of what to do with this. I had enough for sweater quantity. Yeah. And I thought, well, wouldn't this be fun together?
Beautiful together.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I haven't found a pattern yet. And so feel free, but to suggest other ones.
Well, it would be more like a sport or DK weight, right? If you're knitting those together.
Well, I have an idea, of course.
Of course you do.
Yes. So I may find a pattern that I can modify.
What?
or I might find something that's exactly right. But I have a picture in my head of like knit on big needles. So I have to do a swatch on big needles just to make sure I like the way the 2 yarns look together, because I may not love that.
Something like Love Note.
Well, no, I have a V-neck. I'd like it to have a V-neck, and so I'm thinking that the V-neck and the rib at the bottom would be knit on smaller needles, so they sort of pull it in a little bit, and then it would sort of have like bell sleeves that go to little cuffs.
But I meant like Love Note in the sense of that's a fingering and a mohair held double on big needles. So like that level.
But even bigger. Kind of I'm thinking like maybe 13s. Oh. So it would knit up fast.
Wow.
And also be sort of loose and drapey, super drapey. So.
You're going to have lots of yarn left over, right? Because Love Note doesn't take that much yarn, actually.
Yes, except for I don't want it to be cropped either. So, I would add, 6 inches to the bottom of it. I want it to be sort of loose and drapey. So I have a picture in my head, but I need to do a swatch, actually, just so I can see whether I like the 2 yarns held together at that larger gauge. And then I will hunt for a sweater, and I may just fuss with it to get the body right, and then
keep good notes, because I feel like you should publish that if you
right, unless I can find someone else's sweater, which would be even better, but it may not be. Bless you, it may not. It's catching. Bless you. So this red has a lot of black in it, so it actually I think will be good together, but it's one of those funny ones that you can't tell until you see it together.
Yeah, so. It could be beautiful, or it could just be like, wow.
Weird.
No, thanks.
Yeah. I think it'll be good, but we'll try it. So anyway, that's on my list of things to do that little swatch this week to see what it looks like together. I mean, this Weekender is worsted weight, but it's knit on like 9s. Yeah. So it's nice and loose, even though it makes, and this yarn, I will say, not for nothing, is so lovely, and it's so soft, and it is definitely worsted weight, but even at a slightly larger gauge, it's just nicer and drapier, and it has a little heft to it that is just nice, very sweatshirty, actually. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm curious to see, maybe not 13s, but maybe like 10 or 11s, and see, because I like drapey, rather than like
chainmail.
Yeah, exactly. So it tends to look better on me. Yeah, those big things if they drape. Yeah. So
cool.
We'll see.
So I guess come back in a few weeks to see what craziness has happened here and what kind of U-turns have happened, because that's also a thing. I particularly get distracted very easily with projects. Yeah.
I was thinking a little bit of like, if I'm going to knit something for anyone at Christmas time, I need to get on it, but I'm not feeling it this year, so it's not going to be that kind of Christmas for me.
I think I'm doing lots of little things, so hats, gloves, maybe a chunky cowl or something, but stuff that's maybe quick, that can be done and then move on to the next, which is why I'm like, what sweater do I want to cast
Or
on
some
for
little
myself?
filler type things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In between projects.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a hat that I saw that had a really beautiful cable. I can't even remember where I saw it or whether it was a yarn or a pattern maker or a.
I have that, I think it's called the Henry hat that I bought that kit for at Indie Untangled, which has like a little cable up. So that may also be in my future.
Yeah.
Because that one would be for me. I bought that for myself. So I feel like I need a new hat.
Yeah.
Because I don't have enough hats.
Yeah.
No.
I can't. I was looking because it got really cold, and I was looking for my Musselburgh hat the other night, or the other morning rather. It just feels like night because it's dark out when I go in the morning. But although I must say I've been enjoying these last 2 weeks of like pretend early morning daylight because it's fast, ebbing fast.
It is.
But I couldn't. I don't know where it is. My house is chaos right now, so it's because I wanted a warmer hat. It was 21 degrees when I went for a walk on Thursday morning, maybe. Yeah, crazy. So 21. In my brain, I know that that's normal at this time of year, but in my brain, I was also like, wow, really?
Well, it wasn't that long ago. It was like 70 out. So it's we haven't had a slow transition. It's been like summer, winter.
Yeah.
Nothing in between, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's been a little strange. Yeah. And it is supposed to be like in the 50s again today. So it's, And I think even on that day that it was 21, it was 45 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I know.
Yeah, so that's, it's not like I don't have 53 other things that I should be knitting on at home, but this will be a nice sweater for the winter time to have done this weekender.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can, because all of a sudden I was like, you're knitting a Christmas sweater and it's the middle of November and you have another sweater that you're knitting. And when do you think but then our employee here who knit a sweater in 4 nights, I was like, so size 13 needles, that's the key.
The key is big yarn.
If she can do it in a week, that means it will take me 3 weeks, at least. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah. I think other than that, we're just, as we mentioned a little bit in the outtakes, we have classes coming up.
Yep.
Sign up for the Felted Landscape / dryer ball ornament class.
Yep.
Super fun. I'm teaching a thrum mittens class that afternoon. And I think more than anything, we sometimes forget because we get so focused on everything. Our store anniversary. Two things. Small Business Saturday is November 30th, which feels really late, but Thanksgiving is really late this year.
Yep.
So, and that is our sort of traditional anniversary, even though technically our anniversary for the store was a couple of weeks ago, but we had a soft opening in early November. Yeah. So that'll be our ninth anniversary.
9 years.
Crazy. So next year will be a blowout celebration. Of some sort.
Not going to want to miss that.
Right.
We better start planning now, which means we'll plan like 2 weeks at a time.
I was just going to say, I think October 2025 is about when we should start planning.
Yeah.
That would be early.
That feels about right for us.
But we will have some fun stuff here. So we decided to do some classes that day that are
something different,
quick and easy. You can make a pair of thrum mittens between now and Christmas. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
So come take that class. I think there's 3 or 4 people signed up already. So there's a few slots open.
Yep, come check out the Felted Landscapes. I think I'm going to be there. So if nothing else, there'll be some comic relief because probably it's highly likely I might stab myself with a felting needle. She brings
lots of needles because people broke a lot of needles in that class.
Okay, great. So, come hang out with me. That'll be fun.
Yeah. The other thing that we have on our calendar is we have like a drop-in session help, like once every month, I think, from now till whenever. But I think we actually have one in November, and then we skipped the one in December because of the timing of the holidays. Yep. But we'll start doing that again
January,
first quarter
February,
next year.
March. Yeah.
So I think next Saturday, tomorrow, I'm going to post about it early this week. Abigail thought that was hilarious.
No, she's watching something on the iPad.
I know. I'm going to take the.
Okay.
I'm
Yes.
going to take the laugh. Right.
Our studio audience.
Right. Right. Reacting inappropriately to the jokes here. Yeah, so we have one next Saturday if we get people. That's the one where we have,
it's just
people
kind of a drop in too.
Well, you have to sign up ahead of time because otherwise we won't be here.
Oh, okay.
Right. I'll post about that this week just to remind people that that's available. If you have a last minute question but you can't really make time for a private lesson, this is a great
way to do that.
Get some help on something that you're stuck on. And then I forget what else we have lined up. A few other things.
I think there was like a finishing class, but I don't think that one.
That was last weekend.
Oh, okay.
That's last weekend. Yeah.
Thrum mittens, and then I think looking for what we're putting on the schedule for January, February, and March, because we're going to release those sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So if you're local and you're looking for a class in something, drop it in the comments here, and that'll help us. We have sort of a laundry list of things.
I mean, even if you're not local, like, what would you take if your
that's true too.
Local yarn shop was offering a class? Like, that helps us craft these class lists.
That's exactly right. That's even better.
Yeah. What would you take?
Yeah. We have a bunch of new employees, and they're all like, I want to teach X or I want to teach Y.
Yeah.
So we're compiling syllabi. I don't know, whatever you call it.
Exactly.
Class descriptions.
There you go.
So, as usual, it's exciting to think about teaching a class, but you do have to organize it ahead of time. So we need those things done. So, but hopefully, starting next year, we'll have them teaching as well. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks for coming to hang out with us for a little bit.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Always.
We know there's lots of options.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate all the folks that take the time to watch and comment and interact with us on this platform or other social media platforms.
Knit yourself a sweater.
Knit yourself a sweater or a hat if you don't want to make the investment in a sweater.
Or even a great scarf. Can you imagine? Would be fun.
Or a cowl. Like that would be a beautiful, squishy, nice,
super
warm, soft cowl.
It is lovely. Yeah. Yeah.
There we are.
That's it.
So we'll see you in a couple of weeks or so, 2 to 3 weeks. We're gonna coordinate our schedules here and see what we got going on.
Yeah. For sure.
And if we can pull off the December 1st. I don't know yet. But yeah. We'll see you soon.
You'll sign. You'll find out.
See you when you see you. Don't forget, we have a couple of knit-alongs happening right now.
I knew we were forgetting something.
No, I know. I didn't go to the third page. We have the temperature blanket craft along. Seriously, it is not too late. Like, you are way behind, but I don't know. If you did nothing but temperature blanket between now and the end of the year,
you could probably do a scarf that's like 6 inches wide, like one color every day, 365 rows.
There you go. There you go. We have the sea glass along, which is running through the end of November. Still time to participate in that because the cowl counts, the mittens count, the hat counts. So any of that would qualify you for the along. We have our 100 grams or bust along.
Right.
So this is running through the end of the year. So this is any project that takes 100 grams or less of fiber, yarn, whatever. So this, it could be multiple colors, it could be one skein. The only rule is you have to use 100 grams of whatever your material is or less. So be creative, have fun. The felting thing might actually, you'd have to put that on a scale, but like that might qualify.
You have to do it with the dryer ball first, and then because the fiber will weigh about 3.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will not weigh 3.5 ounces. Let me rephrase that. What's smaller than an ounce?
I don't know.
6 grams.
6 grams. I don't know. So, be creative. Sort of the sky's the limit. The only rule is it's got to be 100 grams or less.
Mm-hmm. So you could do a shifty hat and get double dipped into 2 different things.
Or mittens.
Right. Or mittens.
Should
run
that weight too.
Yeah.
You could do something with a skein of this for sure. Little ornaments if you're doing ornaments.
Yeah.
My hacky sacks would qualify.
Yes.
Even with the beads in them.
Right.
So,
right.
Be creative.
We're looking for some very interesting entries for this one. But we will take whatever you have to offer.
Whatever it is that you have worked on.
Right.
Have fun. That runs through the end of the year. So plenty of time if you're doing like little felted ornaments or knitted ornaments or anything like that. That would all qualify. Count.
That reminded me of my sea glass cardigan, which has been languishing at the bottom of the bag because it's too hard to carry around with me because there's 9 colors.
So much going on.
Yeah, maybe I should be doing that in the evening, and that can be the toter.
Yeah.
Because I really do like that, and I do want to finish it.
I know she's getting distracted. I can see her sitting at this table getting distracted.
Reach for this one more time.
Yes. Right. So, all right. Well, we really are going to wrap up now. So we'll see you all soon.
Come visit us.
Small Business
Saturday.
Yes, November 30th.
Because this is our last chance to remind you on this venue.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you can't make it Saturday, pop over on Friday. We're open Friday after Thanksgiving.
We will. If you want the anti-Black Friday experience, come here. Just bring your knitting and hang out if you'd like.
Totally.
We might have a few little treats for people over the course of the weekend. So we like to celebrate.
We do.
So.
Well, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So we'll see everybody soon.
Okay. All right. See ya.
Bye. The play button, the record button.
Oh, right.
Yeah, let's see. What am I wearing?
And what have we done for the last couple weeks?
Well, that is the question.
It's
It's been it's been 3 weeks.
Oh, it has? Sorry.
We had an extra week in there.
Oh, because I was gone last weekend.
Jen and my schedules have both been like super combobulated.
Yeah.
I think it's a small miracle that we're even here today, realistically, but here we are. So I feel like the story of our lives.
Yes. Yes. Looks like I need some ink in the store.
That is for the printer back there.
The one that only prints in pink.
Yes, my phone for some reason keeps connecting back there when I try to print. So I don't know. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. My last 2 weeks or 3 weeks are a little less than exciting.
It's been
between I have some family medical issues going on now that we're trying to deal with, which are complicated at best. So, and then the cat just had his last chemo treatment this week, so which is good that he's on the last one, but he hasn't eaten since Tuesday, and so it's just a week of watching him sort of diminish before he starts building himself back up again. So this week in particular has been a little extra, even though I know he'll start eating again from past experience. It's hard to watch and be part of.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm in this weird zone right now where during the week, like work is super busy and insane, but I don't have very much in the evening stuff happening during the week, and then I hit the weekend and it's like nonstop, like from first thing in the morning to like at the end, and so it's like there's no break. Because usually you count on like the weekend to have like a little bit of a downtime and recalibrate, and it's just been like between kids stuff and like stuff here at the store and like other things going on, it's just been like nonstop. It feels like
I haven't been home before 7 or 8 any night for the last 3 weeks probably, except for when I was gone. For a few days, well, like not even, I was gone for 36 hours for my little conference. I kind of truncated things on both ends last weekend, but it's, things are settling down a little bit, but it's a new normal kind of situation, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm not really excited about this.
This is not helpful.
This is not
and
really
work is, thank God, job number 1 has been busy but manageable, and I have a really solid team that works with me on all my projects, so they've been taking the brunt of things for the last few weeks, which is great.
Mine has been borderline unmanageable because it's me.
Yeah.
I'm a team of one. Well, actually, team of two. I have a legal assistant, so it's a team of two. But it's been. Yeah. I have a little bit of a breather. I had a little bit of a breather this last week, and tomorrow it's Sunday today, so Monday and Tuesday, because I had a big case settle. So trial that came off my schedule, so I have some unexpected free time, and I'm
I know.
Should I just take a day off? I'm kind of feeling like the answer might be yes, because I was supposed to be basically tied up anyway. Yeah. So I don't know, but then it just kicks right back up again. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Right.
And then, I looked at the calendar and realized that because of where Thanksgiving falls in November, we have a very short period of time between Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, the holidays are
like crammed in together.
Yeah. I haven't really thought about them a lot yet. I'm sort of day by day at the moment, but yes, I was looking ahead. On the good news front, maybe we had done this before when we podcast last, but our new people are settling in, and they're awesome. So that's been great. Yeah, that's taken a bit of a load, some pressure, a few challenges off of our plates, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's always like the little kerfuffle here or there, but it's been definitely
good choices improved. So far. So we're excited about that. That's awesome.
Really enjoying it.
Yeah.
I love sort of new energy, because new energy brings sort of new ideas and new looks at things and new approaches. And with, I think, like a retail space, or really any space, like having a refresh every once in a while is good. Because we found, like, you move yarns around and people are like, what is this? And you're like, we've had that for like 5 years.
Right. And that particular yarn for 5 years. So please buy it.
Yeah. So, I think it's good.
Yeah, it is good.
And, change.
Yeah.
Change is good.
It's good for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
At times.
Let's see. What have I been up to the last 3 weeks? I took a fused glass class.
I saw that. That looks like it was fun.
It was fun. Through CVU Access. So it's like a local. Yeah. I think at one time they were called adult ed classes.
Yeah, they're like little one-off seminar workshops.
Yeah, or some of them are longer. Like some of the woodworking ones are like 10 weeks.
And even the knitting ones go longer.
Yeah.
Because those folks are still wandering in to buy yarn, which is great. We do a little discount for the knitting folks.
Yeah.
Fiber people.
The fused glass one was a one-off. Those are generally easier for me. Like trying to do a series of classes with my life right now is just...
It's impossible.
I can't plan that far ahead with things. So it was fun. I will say I would do that class again, or that style of class again. I would only do it in a class setting. Like, I have no desire to like pick that up as like
you need your own set of tools and
a kiln and But also what I realized. I was the person that ended up with like 7 Band-Aids on their hands. Well, maybe not that many, like a couple, because I work with fiber and I work with fabric, and I'm used to just being able to like do whatever, like brush stuff off of my workspace, which you cannot do with glass. Cannot at all.
It would seem like you shouldn't, at the very least.
Well, I know, but it's habit.
I know.
And so, lots of little like nicks, and, glass is so sharp, and it just, but it was fun. I had fun doing it. I went with a couple of friends of mine. We had a good time.
Yeah. It does sound fun.
Something different to do.
Yeah. I like those kind of classes. And CVU does a great job with
so many
great selection.
Kinds. Yeah.
And then the craft school in Shelburne does a great job too. One of the perks of being retired eventually is to be able to just do something crafty every week that's new and different.
Right. I mean, there's definitely some other classes over there I'd be really interested in taking. It's just, I can't manage to.
They do everything too. It's like
there's cooking
craft
classes,
and cooking and language. And
there's a ukulele class music. That I am going to take at some point because one of my children bid on and won a ukulele at an auction. So we have a ukulele in our house that nobody is using because nobody knows how to play it. But they offer intro to ukulele.
Of course they do.
There. In the fall, and then they have ukulele too in the spring. So you could like take a whole year's worth of classes. I just haven't been able to coordinate my schedule enough to put it, or whatever day of the week it usually is falling is a day where I'm like, I know I'm going to have conflicts across the board on that date.
When I took that couple watercolor classes, painting classes at Shelton Craft School, it was, I had looked at my calendar for like 8 weeks out to see if I could maybe swing it, and of course I did,
and then
signed up for it, and then a client was like, I need to meet on Wednesdays instead of Thursdays, and I was like, okay, well, you're in Providence, Rhode Island, so that is not helpful to me. So anyway, I made it work, but it was I did miss a few classes, so it's just that's been the story of my whole adult life here. So it's
exactly. I took a fall harvest wreath making class that was at the local library. Like there's just again, it was a one-off. I took Abigail with me. That was sort of chaos. There was like 5 kids of her age there. It was a little wild. Somebody may or may not have requested an adult-only class after that. Not me, somebody else. But I get it. Like if you know, they were fine, but they were just, being kids.
It's hard to learn when it's fun.
Right.
But it's also like if you're actually trying to absorb a little bit of information.
Well, they were really good. There was just sort of like an initial instruction, and then a lot of it was just working on your stuff, and the instructor was coming around. So like realistically, like they weren't really impacting anybody's ability to do the things. But they were kids. I mean, they're
some adults are better in that environment than others.
Yeah, my guess is that's exactly what was happening.
And you would think it would be like someone like me who's childless that would not be good in that environment, but I enjoy children's energy, so I would be fine.
There was a lot of parents. I don't know. So and many have been some people that were like, I came to this to get away from my kids. So I don't know. I mean, I checked first. I was like, can I bring my 8-year-old? And they were like, oh yeah, somebody else, basically other people are doing. I was like, okay, fine. Like it wasn't like I just showed up with my kid and been like, we're here. Because I try to be mindful. Like I don't, and I figured it was something she could do. She totally could do it. She has a attention span of like a gnat. So it was perhaps too long of a project for her, but she did help for probably the first hour or so. And
kids do like things to happen at the end of the first hour. Like, they're not interested in like, what, you mean another? Like, I'm ready to go on and do something else.
Right. So anyway, there's another one coming up in December, and I was like, to make like a holiday themed wreath, and I was like, I might do that one, but I might just go myself for that one and just see if I have a different experience. It was fine. It was a lovely experience. The wreath's nice. It was fun.
That's good.
So trying to get out a little bit and do a few different things. So
it's true. That's the one thing. Although of having my time a little constrained lately, I'm not sure what I would be doing otherwise, but it does feel like I have very little downtime right now. So it's But then, of course, immediately as a result of that, my brain is like, well, I need to like go do some social things. I need to like, and in fact, my little conference last weekend was with people that I see periodically, and it was actually really nice to be with a different group of people and to get a little socialization in with the work of the conference. But it was good.
I was supposed to go to something last night. Actually, a whole family was invited, and I couldn't. By the time we got home,
Friday nights today's
that would have been Saturday night. But I mean, Abigail and I left the house a little bit after 9. Yesterday we got home at almost 5, and by that time I was just like, nope, I can't.
You're both done.
I'm done. I need to just go have a little dinner and
sit on the couch.
We watched a movie. It's just I can't go socialize as much as I really probably would be good for me. I can't do this
That's
today.
the problem with us fiber people, because we know that there's like a nice relaxing your chair waiting for us, and we're still doing something. We're still being productive and making
super
things.
productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
It is. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is. There's cycles for everything. That's how I think about it. So it'll all be fine in the end.
Yeah. So trying to think of what else.
Yeah, for me, the last
seriously.
3 weeks, frankly, are just a complete blur.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. And I think around here we have we'll talk probably more about it, but we have some great classes coming up, and people are really busy. I can tell because, and we probably should publicize them a little bit more. That's going to work on that this afternoon. But it's and I think we are also at the same time trying to make a calendar for the first quarter of next year, which,
to get that out sooner rather than later. So
in a couple weeks, hopefully we'll have that out there, and maybe in case you're looking for a little local Christmas gift
card or buy a class for somebody.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah,
good idea.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, should we saddle
hit
up
the other button
for the regular stuff? I know. Sorry, it's not 40 minutes of Rhinebeck this time like it was last time.
Yeah, a little bit less to discuss.
Yeah.
But
not as many. I mean, Abigail and I are gonna go watch Newsies at the Flynn after we get done here. The 1:00 show. It's the Lyric Theater.
Yeah.
Their fall musical.
I forgot that was happening.
So
it's always a few weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't planning on going because I was like, we can't fit this in, and our schedule is such in flux, so I didn't buy tickets. And a friend of mine works on like the production crew, and she messaged me on like Friday, and she was like, I have some free tickets. Like, any interest in going?
Yeah,
and
Sunday matinees are fun there.
Yeah,
so.
And then I was like, well, we could totally do the Sunday matinee, and she was like, it's 2 tickets waiting for you at will call, and I was like, all right, I can't say no to that.
I can't pass that up.
So, and she's like, they're great seats. I'm like, I'm sure they are.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. There are really no bad seats at the Flynn.
They really are. It's such a lovely theater.
Yeah. So now I'm excited. I was kind of sad I wasn't gonna make it to that one, but
I haven't been. That's on my Yeah, we'll see.
My Abigail loves to go. She and I have gone to so many of their performances over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I haven't been for a long time. I'll have to try and build that back in again. But I was just there for when Stacey Abrams was here in October. Seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it was a lifetime ago.
But it was nice to be back in the theater and to just see. It's such a lovely theater. Really, it's so beautiful inside.
Yes.
Beautiful Art Deco.
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
And then we're the whole family is going to the Mount Abe fall musicals next weekend. And again, that's another like just step below like professionally run type of
I like the high school
productions.
Shows. I have friends who've had kids who've been in them, and so I've gone to a variety of them. They
do such a good job in the state.
Yeah.
And our district does a great job. This is the fall one, it's always middle and high school. And then the spring one they do is just for high school students, and the middle school kind of does their own smaller production in the spring. So this is like a big one. I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Making the whole family go.
Yeah, exactly.
Support local arts, local community.
Yeah.
So.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, my younger child is up for all of that stuff. I have to kind of drag the other two along, but gonna culture them up of the last thing I do.
Well, especially this time of year, we've been lucky to have such couple beautiful weekends, but and meaning the sun is out,
right?
Because stick season in November can be a little tricky sometimes if the sun is not out.
Yes. Well, my other half has been. Was out yesterday. It's hunting rifle season started yesterday. So I'm a hunter's widow currently, or at least I was yesterday. Today there's some other stuff going on, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to go out again in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's really nice out. It's going to be a little bit warmer today.
Yeah. Though,
it has been.
Oddly enough, we've been getting red flag warnings because it's so dry here.
I don't understand why it's been raining. So
anyway. Not enough.
I guess we had a lot of cloudy days that didn't actually have any rain. So
Yeah. So super dry out in the woods, which does not make for good deer hunting because they can hear you coming.
Right. Yay, go deer. I'm not opposed to hunting, but I did see a beautiful flock of them walk in front of me this week when I was walking, and it just pains me to think about it.
Venison is so delicious.
Yeah. It's good for other people.
Yep.
Not just,
Yep. All right.
All right.
Let's get this show on the road.
Okay.
Okay.